Big day on the ranch. Our first baby lamb is gonna be here, and it's gonna be time to bring in some goats. Right now on the farm, we have a passive income of around $500 just from the oil, and we're making approximately $108 a day on the sheep right now. And this mama over here should be giving birth any minute now today. Yep, we're just kind of waiting for you. But I did ask you guys if we should bring in goats, and it was a mixed bag of responses, and I decided to do it because I haven't used goats before on Ranch Simulator, so we're gonna do that today. We do have some manure. I did mention that last episode. We haven't seen any in here. I don't plan on doing any crops or greenhouses on this, so we're just gonna clean up the manure as we need to. But I am gonna top off their water here, and I don't think the food needs topped off yet. Let's go ahead and let's top the water off. And then the food is at 17. So we do have a couple bags here, but they're 7 each, and I believe it'll use the whole bag and we'll lose 3 food. So we're gonna wait till that's down to around 14 before we top it off. All right, let's do our chores for the day. We can go get our oil rig taken care of and get that oil back here. We could shear and, well, we should probably, look at that, there's our baby. I was gonna say we should probably do our morning milking, and I don't know if we should steal mama's milk, but there is our new baby. Let's get our ear tags. We need those. I strategically placed everything over here so I could reach it. So let's go ahead and name the animal Day 5. I know it's not a unique name, but it gives us the ability to track when the baby was born and kind of learn a little bit about that. So we'll know how many days before we can milk it based off of our research here because of, you know, the number on the ear tag of the baby sheep, the lamb. So let's go ahead and start milking her mama right now. Something is preventing milking. There we go. It was just something in the way there. Getting a little delay in my animations there, but I think we'll get milking done successfully. Hopefully there'll still be a little bit of milk for the baby. And there we go, 4 out of 4. Now I believe you get 5 when you use the automated, the mechanical milking machine. So we will be getting that eventually, but right now I don't think we really have money for that. Let's do a little check-in on the finances. So right now we're showing $843, which is pretty solid. We're not even gonna really need a lot of extra money to get the goats, but let's go ahead and make sure we are doing our chores here, and but by the time we come back, we should be able to shear them. So I am gonna run and get the oil. We're gonna come back and get the wool, and then we'll head into town and spend a little bit of cash. 32 over here. We've been neglecting this a little bit, so 32 will fit in here, but when we get to the second oil rig, we're not gonna be able to completely empty it. So I think that was due to us not coming over here, I believe, this late on day 4. So it did build up a little bit more than it did the day before. And that's a good thing. We got more money to make. We'll definitely get $500 right now because that's all we can fit in the barrel. And we could get a second barrel, or we could just make multiple trips. But I think we should also stop at the gas station on the way home because fuel's getting a little low in our car here, our UTV here. So that's full with 50, and we still have 14 here. So we know if we need 140 bucks, it's just passively sitting there for us. You know, might not be a bad thing to fill up the jerry can while we're here too. You know, $44 in fuel costs today, but $500 sitting right there. And I really love the progression in this game when you finally learn it. Like, getting the oil rigs just basically frees you up to progress however you want. And it's pretty sweet. You can see we're slowly just being a sheep farmer right now. We're gonna get some goats, but we're able to, you know, produce the finances that we need to keep the ranch alive and not get overwhelmed by all of the possibilities of things to do when we're just focusing on one thing. When I first started playing this game, I tried to focus on greenhouses, and they just don't bring in a ton of money. At the time, I didn't know about the oil rigs, so it made the game feel like it was just taking forever to progress, and this route is just so much easier. It makes it to where you can just relax and play the game. But look at, they ate 4 today. So let's go ahead, we can top that off. We can get rid of one of these bags, and that put in 20. So, you know, they got plenty of food in case we forget. And, you know, why feed them when they're still 13 in there? It's because, you know, we might get busy and we might forget. That's the way I, process things. But I think it's time to head into the store. Let's go ahead and put the milk in here as well. We have 2 things of wool. We have 50 oil and 4 ounces of milk. All right, coming in here, clicking on sell, and it looks like if we sell everything, we will get $608. That's 500 from oil. Was that 96? 96 from sheep and 12 from milk. And it says goat's milk on there. Someone pointed that out in the comments. That is hilarious. I think that is just, a mess up in the UI. But let's double check our finances on what we need here. So we have $1,400. We can get our 2 goats. We only need $850 for that. We don't need the $900 for the sheep, but what I'm contemplating is maybe adding a couple more females to our pen there. But let's go home and start getting prepped for the goats. Can we get a little bit of extra cash from hunting right here? Let's see. He's standing still. I believe we need 2 shots here. 1, 2. Got him. And I don't typically make a big deal out of doing the hunting on this game, but when they're right in front of your face like that, we might as well make some extra cash. And you can't process this meat to make it any more expensive like you can with the animals that we can have on our farm, but it's still a little bit of extra cash. And there are, there's hunter on this map that you could do some daily quests and some one-time quests on. We're not really going to mess with that on this playthrough, but I'll show you on the map here. If you go out to hunter right there, you can go get those quests. Okay, I'm gonna unload everything except for that meat, because we're gonna sell that when we go buy the goats. But it is time to do a little bit of a grind. I'm gonna need a lot more planks than we have over here. But I was thinking of just connecting up the pen right here. So let's go ahead and start designing that out. I'm trying to find a clean starting spot here. Let's take a look at that. It is not straight and it's gonna run in. Well, that might actually work. Let's give that a shot. Can we connect it? It can go that way. So maybe we'll work our way that way. Okay, so let's bring this in 18 times. So I'm gonna use the scroll wheel on the mouse. Whoop, wrong way. 1, 2, 3, 17, 18, and that should make a perfect right angle. And then for whatever reason, the game likes to do it at a right angle after that. So there's 3 fences. What do we have over here? We have 5. Let's try to do the same size here. So 3, 4, 5, and then we'll start coming back. So wrong way. 1, 2, 18, 18, and we have 3 fences that direction. All right, and boy, that just fit. So this being off center is going to drive me nuts. We might end up changing that, but we got to come over here, got to knock that one down, go back in here and put our gate in. And I think it snapped, but it didn't feel perfect. And we could do the little airlock here with the double gate entry, which would be easier, but they haven't been running away yet, so I think we're okay. And I did see some hearts over here. No way she's pregnant. She's pregnant already. We're gonna have another lamb here in a couple days. And is she ready for milking already? Time is flying already. Let's double check that. So after we buy the goats, we might look into getting the upgraded milking machine. I also think it might be time to start saving up the milk that we have to start making some cheese. And it looks like we're just gonna be making goat cheese. So we'll be doubling the same milk once we get these goats. But let's use the planks we have, kind of give us a little estimation on what we're gonna have left to cut down. And that didn't go very far. So I think I'm gonna find a better spot for this, closer to some trees, and get to chopping. All right, this should be the last log going in the sawmill. And I found a little trick. Once it gets about right there, you can go ahead and shut it off. Stop using fuel, and it'll finish the plank, or the 2 planks, and we just need 3 of them. So whoa, what was that light change? I guess it is 1900. Oh man, I don't even, where's the sun? But that is a cool light change there. All right, so we'll have this platform to be able to work from, and I can hop into them from here too, which is really nice. But we got 2 identical, and that's gonna drive me nuts. 2 identical pins here, and we might do the airlock later, the double gate entrance. And all these fences are backwards. Oh, let's get some sleep. All right, it is day 6, and yeah, I think we need that gate. She tried to escape. She is tired of constantly being pregnant here. We got our milking bucket here. Let's go ahead and help her out a little bit. Maybe she just needs a little bit of relief. Oh, phased me onto the outside of the fence there when I got done, and go ahead and pick that up. So we now have 8, but I said, you know, like I said, we're gonna save up a little bit here, and we're gonna have to find a place where we're gonna want to make some milk, but just gonna keep saving that up for now. Let's see, it's gonna be too early to shear them. We'll leave this here because we have plenty of fuel, but we're gonna go ahead and make a run for the oil this morning. And then we're going to sell the oil and meat, come back, drop off the oil canister, the oil barrel, and then we're gonna get some goats. And another 20 here, so we might be able to empty out that other one and still get $500. We'll see when we get there. 34, so there's still 4 left over, so we'll slowly chip away at that remainder there. Just doing our daily visits. We are gonna go to the general store, even though it's farther away from where we are right now, because I do wanna get enough feed, because we forgot to make, oh. What is this out here? We need to make the water bowl and the food trough before we end up selling. I just got distracted, guys, but we do need to make the food trough and water bowl before we get the goats. What is this place? Can we fish? This is gorgeous. Can't go any farther. It must be the end of the map here. Yeah, we got lost. We wanted to go all the way down here. This is cool, though. Haven't seen any bears yet on this playthrough. They're definitely in the desert, which was interesting. 3 wild meats and 50 oil. Let's go ahead and make our daily cash here as our dollar amount and our balance is nicely growing. So another $545, bringing our total to almost 2,000. We did say we wanted to buy a few things. I'm going to buy, let's just get about $210 worth. We'll do 7 bags of wheat here and check out. And hopefully we can carry all those. Thank you, ma'am. We'll see if we can get all these stacked in here. If not, we'll have to make multiple trips. 6, so just 1. That's not bad. We can get that some other day. Back to the ranch. We got to cut down a few more trees, and then we should be able to get them goats. All right, so 16 and 16. That means... Man, I should have put a fence on that side. That means we need 16 logs and a little bit more. No, we had good fuel already. So I'm just gonna collect the logs first, get them turned into planks, and we'll keep on making progress. And this should do it for the food trough, and this should do it for the water trough, or water bowl. Always called a water trough, the water bowl. We just had a short rainstorm there, not too bad at all. It's really refreshing that this map doesn't just pound you with the sand like the desert one does. So let's go in here. It's 1,300. We should be able to get some wool, not from the baby. Let's go ahead and trim. And we'll place this down here, and then when we get out, we can grab both of them and take them in. Well, we got you already. Let's get the mama. Then we have some manure to clean up. We'll double check that. It's got one right here. Let's go ahead and remove that. And this one. And let's check all their healths here. Everything's looking good. Full bars on the mama. Baby's looking good, getting a little thirsty. And dad over here, looking good. All right. They burned through much food yet? Yeah, they're burning through it a lot faster now, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's go ahead and get all this stuff unloaded. And then these 3 we can take in here with us and fill up the goat's food. And of course, we'll have to get, please. Uh-oh. Is the fence in the way? No way. Okay, if I stand right here, it works. And we should be able to, you know, fit both waters right there. That's perfect. We can just stand right here, grab them, fill it up. All right, let's do it. Yeah, what a system. Fill it up there, the 3rd one there, and then we'll just top off the water over here, even though it's at 20. It only needs a little bit. What a process. And we can leave that there. Let's grab the wool. We are gonna put the wool in here, but we're gonna grab the barrel and leave it here this time so that we can fit our goats in the back of our little our little side-by-side here, our little UTV. All right, let's start off with selling. $96 from wool there, and then we're gonna come in here. We're gonna go a female goat and a male goat. $850 spent. Our balance is still at $988. We are doing good. Let's manage these guys and get them transported. We'll get them home in the pen, and we'll take a deeper look at them. All right, get the female in here first. Set free. Close that. Get the male in here next. Okay. It might be time to change the gate system here. There we go, we got him. All right, now, can I do this? I can, okay. Let's grab our milk bucket, and let's just see, you know, we just bought her, but can we get some goat milk today? No milk. Okay, so we probably need to wait till morning, but we don't want to be rude and leave that there so that, come on, okay. We gotta go inside. And we'll learn about the feed here. I assume they're gonna use about the same amount of feed as the sheep, but that's a pretty awesome start here. Let's do the after, oh, did they just mate? They did. Unbelievable. We're gonna have babies on both sides of the fences now. Last thing we need to do today is a little bit more milking. Man, I didn't know you could milk twice a day. We would have made so much more money on the last playthrough. So starting to make a collection here of our goat milk that comes from sheep and goats. And next episode, we're definitely going to start the cheese operation. I'm SocksWayUp. Thanks for hanging out. I will catch you on the next episode.